I'm kind of sitting around the campfire today, and one of the things I was reminiscing about was how important wildflowers are in my life, anyway. On my outdoor outings. I mean, just this last weekend, for example, we went out. Where there'd been a recent fire, and last fall, and we were looking for morel mushrooms. And God, we walked up mountains and just through the woods and all that stuff. Never found a mushroom. But in the process, I'm looking at. I decided, well, I might as well save the day. I'm going to pick my wife a bouquet of wildflowers, and there was everything from Indian paintbrush and arnica and phlox and balsam root, just kind of made her, arnica, made herself a big, nice bouquet of wildflowers that I brought home. And she taught me all about that. I didn't know wildflowers when I first met her, and she would take me on some of our first dates were photographing wildflowers. And she says, where do you see wildflowers while you're out driving? And I said, I don't see anyone. I'm looking for deer and turkey and stuff like that. So she showed me the hillsides that were just, covered with, balsam root and phlox and all these different flowers that, I've been driving by them all, my whole life and never noticed them. And then she says, okay, now let's look at a flower up close. Look at smell the flower. Look at the delicate, makeup of them, and watch the bees pollinate them, that sort of thing. And really got into it. And she says, look what they look like before they bloom and after they bloom, and learn to recognize them. And it was a very big education. And what I found is it's kind of fun she would teach me the names, and I would remember quite a few of them, and I could impress my friends, and just even learn a few Latin names, and except they changed the darn things. I remember I finally learned a Latin name, and they changed it, and I said I quit. But anyway, I still enjoy the flowers, and I still, to get on my good side with my lady, I bring her home a bouquet from time to time, and she likes it. And I'll bet you, if you tried that on your, companion, I bet you that you'd get along pretty good too. We hope that you enjoyed this week's telling of Campfire Tales. Please remember to hit subscribe to make sure that you get the announcements for next week's upcoming activities, as well as the new topics for the Campfire Tales. Please also share the fun that we have here and let your friends know about our website, RogersOutdoorChannel.org.